wasn't about being trendy and it wasn't about making it perfect. It was just about what did we need in order to really feel at home here. If you feel totally overwhelmed trying to figure out how to decorate your home, you're not alone. Most people don't know where to start. But what if your inspiration was in your home this whole time, or even inside of you somehow? We go to Pinterest or look through magazines and it feels very complicated. It feels like we need to have a design degree and all this experience in order to pull it together. But it doesn't have to be that complicated. I want to walk you through the exact steps I use with my clients and what I use in my own home to go from no idea to a home that feels exactly like you. When my husband and I decided that we were gonna put some roots down in Eastern Washington, it felt a little foreign to us. We didn't really expect to be here for very long. In order to create a home, we really had to dig deep into figuring out what was gonna feel like home for us, what was going to give us that inviting, warm feeling that would help us create those roots here. When we did that, we thought about all of our favorite places and what we love to do. One thing that we do every year is go to Whitefish, Montana. And being in the mountains, whether it's snow or sunshine, we just absolutely love it. And so we happened to find a home that came on the market that was very dated, but it had a little bit of that mountain feel, a lot of wood tones and greens and, kind of a natural, neutral palette. And I just knew right away that I could make this into really our forever home, whether we end up here forever or not. That's kind of how I designed it. And that was my mindset in designing this home. So we took that mountain energy and we used that as our compass. And that's how we made every decision feel grounded and personal when we were designing this home. It wasn't about being trendy and it wasn't about making it perfect. It was just about what did we need in order to really feel at home here. And that's the first step I recommend for anybody that's feeling stuck. It's about finding your North Star, right? What brings you peace or joy or inspiration? Think about a place you love, a vacation spot, the garden, a beach, a certain city. Maybe it's a hobby that you enjoy. Do you enjoy baking, hiking, painting, even exercising? What is it that you love to do? It could potentially already be an item in your home that you're obsessed with already. Do you have a rug that you love, a vintage piece of artwork or some vintage furniture? Maybe it's a blanket. I had one home I designed completely around like the Pendleton style. So it was very like national parks is kind of what it was. And then we had a Pendleton rug that we used and that's what we designed around. Maybe like if you love curling up with a book every evening, that tells me that you want your home to feel warm and cozy. Or if you just love going to the beach, maybe we should design more light and airy and fresh. It doesn't need to be complicated. Like I said before, it's just a matter of finding that grounding piece or what is that one inspiration really is going to set the tone for your home. And it's about what you want to feel every day when you wake up and you move through your house. What is the feeling that is going to most make you feel at peace and settled into your home? I want to have you do a little activity just to help you with this step. So I want you to pause the video and write down or take photos of 3 things that you already love. This is going to be the start of where you're finding your inspiration and the palette for your home. Okay, hopefully you've come up with at least a couple of things that really inspires you or that you really absolutely love. And now I'm just going to go through some examples of what those things might be and help you figure out how to find the inspiration from design eyes in that. I'm going to use again the mountains and what we used for our home. Because we love the mountains, we're thinking wood tones, greens, earthy textures. Maybe you love painting and you want to have a nice white backdrop and then layer with color accent pieces and a lot of natural light. Another way to think about it, as we've talked about a little bit, is if you love the ocean or water, using blues and whites and natural woven textures, things that I guess are breathable. So there's a lot of like air movement through them. They're light, nothing that feels heavy or metallic or too strong. Maybe you're really into like music and instruments and you do like those like really metallic kind of feelings, so bringing in those metals, and then you can mix that with wood as well, but just having a lot more harder materials, tiles, glass surfaces, metallic surfaces, more contrast. I think of music and like a sheet of music, there's a lot of like black and white and like you have really strong chords and then some softer chords as well. Maybe that's, you bring in a little bit of softness with your curtains. Those are different ways that you can think about like whatever your hobbies are, things that are of interest to you, like tap into that creative brain and think about how that could inspire your home. So then we're gonna take this one step further, and once you have that kind of inspiration piece that you're going off of, start pulling out 3 different things. You want to pull out a color palette, you want to pull out like a texture, and then like the overall vibe of either that single piece or that hobby that you have or whatever that inspiration place is. When you're picking your color palette, you want to do just like 2 to 3 different colors that really reflect that inspiration. You can have a lot of contrast or very little contrast. Sometimes I just like going through like a Sherwin-Williams paint deck. You can usually get one for free from your local paint store, and just find what it is that's inspiring you. Find a picture of the place that you love, or the instrument that you love, or you know, something like that, and then pull out that paint deck and find colors that match that, so that then you can come up with your color palette. The next step to that is your texture. Like I said a little bit with the ocean, like you want really light, breezy, you're gonna think of like linens and really soft cottons. If you like the instruments, you're gonna go like wood and metal and metallic very likely, or maybe if you have a stringed instrument and something softer, you'll hit those softer sides of the music world. Maybe like me, like the woodsy and mountain, I used a lot of stone and black tile, and then the darker woods, and I mix it with lighter woods and a lot of earthy tones, greens and yellow, like kind of mustardy yellows. If you're a painter, let's go back to the paint topic, you like a lot of movement, so you're gonna have a lot of pattern, which adds to that feeling, that texture, and you can have a lot of woven pieces. Again, in the layering, I think is a really big thing that artists would really love, is just that layering of texture and color and pattern. So then the third one is just your overall vibe. Are we peaceful? Are we energetic and playful? Is there a lot of color with a lot of contrast, or is it neutral and calm and quiet? The less contrast that you have in your colors, the more calm and peaceful it's gonna feel. The more contrast that you have in your color palette, the more vibrant it's gonna be. I guess loud in a way that it's gonna be. So figure out what matches the style that you're going for, or whatever your inspiration piece is. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're not locked into this. It's just a compass to give you a direction to go in. So the last note I kind of want to say is, again, I just want to encourage you to keep it cohesive and keep it as simple as you can. Like, it can get complicated quickly, and this is where most people get stuck, but give yourself permission to just keep it as simple as possible. I'm going to use the analogy of thinking of your home like an outfit. Like, you're not going to wear 7 different patterns all at once. So the same idea is going to go for your room. Again, yes, designers do this and it can look really good when done well, but if you're trying to do this on your own and you don't know how to do that properly, it's okay to keep it simplified. You don't have to feel like you need to put it together like a designer would to get a designer look. Sometimes simple wows just as much as a complicated design would. Don't think about it as like the whole book of the whole story. Just think about it as like 1 or 2 chapters in the story. You're not the whole library. You're not your whole closet. You're just one outfit. So focus on that one outfit. And you can always just start with one room. Don't overwhelm yourself with your whole house. Stick to your palette. You can use your palette throughout the house if that is easier for you. Maybe just bringing in one accent color into various rooms to give it its own little unique feel. Repeat your textures throughout your house. Use the same wood tones. Just echo little bits throughout the home. And yeah, just remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Even one thoughtful decision at a time adds up to a space that you're just gonna absolutely love. And break it down as simply as you can. Really find a way to enjoy the process by incorporating your hobby or thing that you love to do and designing your house around that. I think that brings a lot more joy into the process than trying to be something or make it something that you're not. And the best homes aren't decorated all at once. They're decorated slowly over time with thoughtful pieces. That's the best way to do it ultimately. Again, as always, if you want help either choosing paint or pulling a design together, I have a bunch of resources. I'll link them in the show notes, and comment on one thing that you love that could inspire your home, or maybe as you wrote down those 3 things earlier in the video, let me know what they are. I'd absolutely love to talk to you and ask me a question. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you on the next video.